Now, what is Etsy? Now, Etsy is a marketplace. I can say it's a marketplace for handmade crafts. That was what Etsy started in 2005 as. It was a place for creatives who make their own products using their hands to come and just have a marketplace where they could sell and get their wares. And sorry for that. And get their wares. And I mean, get their revenue, not their wares. But what happened along the way when Gelato started in 2007, and then the Printifuls and the Printifies and all these other platforms came, the service providers, people started linking this providers to Etsy, and that's how people started now selling T-shirts, printed stuff, products, and all print-on-demand stuff just flooded Etsy. And if for the old Etsy sellers, the people who love the core of the Etsy, they know it's a creative platform. They know it's handmade, and there's been a lot of fighting in between people who want Etsy to go back to what it was, rather than having this commercialized industrial printing companies coming to print like 500 T-shirts a month. Back then, people were making T-shirts by hand and selling at a premium. Nowadays, you can't do that. So people are buying the premium ones, they're buying the digitally made ones. And yeah, so that is the long, short history about Etsy. Started like that, but nowadays, we call it a print-on-demand platform. And that's why it's actually here, because now you can connect, you can link all this. And Etsy almost got pushed to the wall by a lot of creators who started early in demanding for them to push away this print service provider. But at the end of the day, it's making a lot of money for them. So they couldn't change their terms and conditions, introduce print on demand, and stop being 100% handmade handmade marketplace for goods and products. So it became a handmade plus production partners and all that stuff. So long story short, that is Etsy. It has an annual revenue of $1 billion US plus. 1 billion is a huge marketplace. I'm talking about 663 million plus monthly visitors. Imagine, and I keep on saying this, imagine a market where you buy your onions, your tomatoes, your groceries. Imagine your farm market, and you're getting 600 million people walking by. And you are selling something there. And that's the power of printer. If you think of it like that, it will just blow your mind about the opportunities for you to make money in this industry. 663 million visiting this one website. It is just up to me and you to discover what do most of these people love? What are most of these people searching for on this platform called Etsy? When it comes to Etsy, one of the things you need to understand, even before you get so hyped up about Etsy, number one, it doesn't work in all the countries. Like I am in Kenya right now, it doesn't work. Really, of course, pissed off. Definitely pissed off. And I do not want to circumvent the system, the wheel, and just go around. I want to get it right. I want to get it legit. I want to get it when it's actually in the country. It's sad, but yeah. So one of the things you need to understand about Etsy, number one, is it has listing fees. Very, very important to understand. You cannot post a product on Etsy without paying the listing fees. Last I checked, it was around 20 cents per product for a few, was it 4 months or a couple of months, and then you renew then again. So in a year, let's say you might be paying almost $1 to list a product on Etsy. Now, imagine if you have 1,000 products. Yeah. You have to pay $1,000, hypothetically, to list all these products. And chances are not all the products will be selling. So you'll find people have stores on Etsy that really do not have a lot of product. And that is the reason why the fees on Etsy. They also have transaction fees, apart from the listing fees that you pay to list a product. And then you have to renew the listing fees. If you do not renew the listing fees, they delete or rather unlist your product. Yes. Another thing is a transaction fee. You have to pay transaction fee. After someone has bought something, that money is supposed to come to you. But Etsy also have a transaction fee. Was it 5% or something like that? They have a transaction fee. I'm not sure. You need to confirm because they keep on flipping. Another thing, optional advertisement fees. Now, if you want to advertise your product on Etsy, could they give you that chance that you can actually boost your product within the marketplace? So if you're selling a T-shirt, and then in a certain niche, maybe a cat t-shirt, a funny cut t-shirt, you can promote that t-shirt so that any person who searches for cut t-shirt, you get your listing featured. So you pay that. So you pay that, and then maybe you do not see the sales, but Etsy already made their money. So yeah, it's one of the things you need to understand. It's a very competitive platform in as much as they do have 663 million monthly visitors. They do have millions of creators, and millions more keep on joining each and every day, each and every month. It's a huge platform. In terms of the product range, they do have moderate product range. Remember, they started off like as a handmade goods platform where people were just making things using their handcraft, and it was really huge. So in terms of product, they're really limited. They're very cautious in terms of introducing product that they would not really necessarily identify with their target audience. But of late, since the introduction of this print providers like Printify, Printful, and all these other ones, Etsy has started opening up into new products, and I'm seeing products like candles. I'm seeing products like jewelry selling a lot. There's a piece of jewelry, a necklace, that is selling, making I think $90,000 every month. Imagine, at a profit of $26, and it's selling around 3,500 pieces a month. Imagine, do the math. It is crazy. Now, in terms of the product range, let's say it's moderate clothing, mugs, prints, accessories is selling. A lot of printables, downloadables. I'm seeing a lot of digital products selling. A lot of printables, planners are selling a lot on Etsy. In terms of the target audience, as I said, they're targeting handmade goods artists. These are the crafty kind of indie artists, independent artists. Handmade focus, unique designs. This is what Etsy really looks for. And I can boldly say the most creative website on planet Earth. Get it from me. I've been on the digital space for 17 years. I can confidently, with authority, say that it is Etsy. Etsy has one of the most creative products that we ever see. You will ever see. And I think to some extent, it's if you know what to search for and how to search for, you'll actually get a lot of value products. If you're in business, you'll get a lot of value products to sell on Etsy rather than Pinterest. Pinterest is not somewhere to look for when you in print on demand. It is a good platform, but if you want to know what is selling, because at the end of the day, it's what is selling that matters. And Etsy is a really big, it's a really extremely big platform to know what's selling, what's trending, and what's hot, what's creative on Etsy. Check it out. Another thing, the pros about Etsy: established audience. As at 2005, that's an old platform, really old platform since 2005. Another thing, handmade niche, handmade goods, handmade products sell. My goodness gracious me. You can sell a normal printed t-shirt, direct to garment, DTG printed t-shirt for around $16, $21. If you hand make that t-shirt, add beads, paint, do whatever you're doing, I don't know, just make it with your hand, you can sell it as high as $40. And that's how crazy it is. So the pros, a lot of handmade. The handmade niche is really big. So if you're really talented in making a lot of art crafts, I come from Kenya, and there's a shop selling beads on Etsy in Kenya. It's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So if you're really artistic, handmade stuff like this is the Kenyan flag bead. You can make a lot of money if you have skills, handmade skills like this. That's where Etsy really shines a lot. The SEO on Etsy, the search engine optimization, is a huge platform. So if you post anything on Etsy, it really flies on you. I mean, on search engines like Google, like Bing, even AI search engines like Copilot and Gemini. Pick it up. It's a huge thing. Etsy is a huge thing. The cons of Etsy, one of the cons, the negative sides of Etsy, number one, limited POD integration. They're really, as I said, there was a lot of fight between, it was heavy fighting between the OGs, the people who were handcraft artists and the people who, like you and I, who are doing print on demand and going in places like Creative Fabrica, buying designs and just slapping it on and using AI like Meet Journey to create t-shirts and slap it on Etsy. So you'd find the people who've been there making with handmade stuff feel a bit edgy. They feel as if we're just spamming the platform and doing all that. So Etsy is a bit limited in terms of the integration. So I think they also in 2023 they limited a platform like, I think, was it Shine On got kicked out. Another platform. It's really sad. No, but I'm not sure if they are back. They should be back. I need to check that. But they're limited, and you'd find them kicking out, and that's a very good example about Shine On. They kick you out, they bring you back. So the integration, because a lot of people complain a lot, especially they see new products coming up, handmade artists, that is. And I think it's competitive. It's really competitive. We have millions of artists. We have 600 million people. Definitely everyone's going to be there. $1 billion up for stake in terms of revenue that they're generating. So much money that you can make out of Etsy. Another thing, lower profit margins. So a lot of people are there. So a lot of people as well selling the same products, lower their prices to make the sales. So it's very competitive as well. So that is Etsy in a nutshell. There's so much about Etsy, but I thought about just summarizing it in a nutshell to get you to better understand what Etsy is. But if you want to understand print on demand as if you're a beginner, 100% a beginner. First time you haven't opened up your store and you really want to get into this print on demand, you're just researching and you're super excited about this. Check out my webinar. It's a free webinar, live webinar happening right now, and I'm teaching you how to start print on demand. You looking over my shoulder step by step as I guide you and tell you the intricacies, the nuances of this industry called print on demand. Check it out live right now. Scan it. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining today's lesson. My good name is XT Andela. Of course, your favorite print on demand coach, and thank you once again for the privilege of your time. If you found value in today's video, please leave a like, a comment. Those are the two most important ways for me to know that you actually find value. If you like and comment, I'll see you engaging and I'll see that you actually love this. Share, subscribe, and yeah, thank you very much. See you on the next one.